What is going on, everyone? I know it's been a while since you've seen me and Liam on the YouTube. Obviously, we've taken a little bit of a break. School has been pretty busy, and there really hasn't been anything that's that big going on in football. Last time you heard us on YouTube is just talking about like gambling advice, stuff like that. But now football's over. Like there really wasn't much for us to talk about, so we kind of took a little break. But we're only now 3 more days. It's 25th, the recording. 28th is the draft. So only 3 more days away from the draft, which is huge, especially for us Giant fans, where draft is huge for us because we suck. So this is our only time we get to have fun. So I'm always really excited. We're gonna make a mock draft. As you can see, we have the two screens. This is kind of like the setup we had last year. I'm gonna be on the left. So if you can see the mouse, I'm gonna be on the left side, and Liam's gonna be on the right side. He's gonna be right here. And yeah, we're gonna do our picks like this, and we're gonna compare them. Obviously, after day one, we'll compare, see what we get. And as Giants fans, I'm pretty excited. We have the 5th and the 7th pick. We might trade out at the 7th, but we have a top 5 pick, and that's always fun to have. So I don't know if you got anything to say, Liam, before we start.
No, not really. This is always a lot of fun I don't know. It's kind of a crapshoot, and we don't really expect to do that well. I was really impressed last year. I think we both got like 6 or 7 of them correct. But last year, I think was a lot more predictable than this year.
Yeah,
but we'll see. It's just fun. So let's see.
it's a lot of fun this year. I'm gonna go. I was just telling him I'm gonna go a little bold, a little wild. But I have genuinely like really no clue. Even the first overall pick, I think mine might be a little more controversial. But even the first overall pick, that is not settled yet. The odds have just changed to a certain player recently, because for a while it's been Aiden Hutchinson, but the odds have just changed to now Trayvon Walker. So you don't really know. We don't really know. But with the first pick, like I just said, I'm going to start off and I'm going to take Trayvon Walker with my first overall pick to the Jaguars.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Hutch. I just think you're just getting a little too cute with it. Like, I just think it's Hutchinson. He's made it sound like the Jags have told him that he's the number 1 overall pick. So I'll just believe him because he's definitely closer to the situation than me.
Now, here's my only problem with it, right? Here's my only problem. I don't like Aiden Hutchinson. This might be a hot take by me. I think Aiden Hutchinson is pretty bad. I think he's going to be really overrated. He doesn't really have long arms. So that's tough for me, defensive end without long arms. You think
he's bad at football?
In comparison, yeah, I don't think he should be the first overall pick in the draft. That's okay.
I guess we'll see where you have him then.
I have him going number 2 to the Detroit Lions, which we'll go into that. But I like Trayvon Walker. Trayvon Walker has, definitely rose his stock he had a really good combine, a lot of talent, and he's just an absolute stud in general. I think he might be one of the better players in this draft. I don't like Hutchinson. No, I don't. And Trayvon Walker has a lot more potential than Hutchinson does. Hutchinson has a high floor, but I think Trayvon Walker's ceiling is like the Empire State ceiling. So I'm going with that. But then I'm going to do the reunion because I don't see Hutchinson falling that far. I'm going to do
the Michigan thing. Yes. I like the Michigan thing.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do Aiden Hutchinson to his hometown. I believe he's actually also from Michigan. So I'm going to do his hometown, Michigan, Detroit Lion team. I'm going Aiden Hutchinson to the Detroit Lions, which is a good pick.
You love a good narrative.
I do.
Wait, so you don't think he's good enough to be selected number 1 overall, but you think he's good enough to be selected number 2 overall?
No, I don't think he's good. I just think
you just said it was a good pick.
Well, I think it's like a Lonzo Ball situation. Like I think he's a solid player, but like he's just got this narrative around him where everyone loves him. He's the Michigan guy. He kind of
loved Lonzo. You loved Lonzo.
I'm a Lonzo guy too, but Lonzo should not be the second overall pick. And just like Aiden Hutchinson, I don't think he should be the second overall pick. Like if he was not from Michigan and like from another different, like if he was from like Iowa, like a different Big Ten school, I don't think he goes this high. Like I just think he's like from Michigan. It's a big school. Everyone wants him to be good. I don't know. It's just a take I have. Like I watched him play and like I watched a shitload of college football and like I never really was like, oh my God, especially when he played schools like Georgia and like, he didn't play Alabama, but we played a school like Georgia in the college football playoffs. Like I don't really think he killed it necessarily.
Well, that's the other thing that could be said about Trayvon Walker is he played with like one of the best defenses of all time, and they're gonna have like that defense is gonna have like 3 or 4 first round picks.
That's very fair as well. That's a fair statement too. It's so fair.
All right. What are you doing at 3? Oh, I'm going Trayvon. Yeah.
Trayvon. Okay.
Yeah. I think like he's just an athletic beast, and I just think that they need edge, right? Mm-hmm. It seems like a very Dan Campbell pick. Like he's a good player, and I think he'll go there. I just don't see. I think the top end of this draft is a little weak, but the depth is insane.
Agreed.
Honestly, I don't watch a ton of college football, but that's kind of what I've just seen. He's been rising up boards, so I'll put him up there.
Okay, the next one is going to be hard because it's the Houston Texans. And as you can see, especially with how it's ranked here, position needed is every position. They need everything.
That's bad funny.
Listen, I'm just going to go with the best offensive lineman that I think is in the draft this year. And I think that's Ikem Aquanu. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but I think I actually did a pretty good job on that. I'm going to go with him. I think he's the best lineman in this draft. He's a mauler, super big. And as far as like players go right now for the Texans, like you never can go wrong with like a really, really good lineman. You can also see guys like Kayvon Thibodeau go on this one, although people have had his stock kind of fall a little bit. I'm going to go with, again, Ikem Aquanu. I think he, again, is the best offensive lineman in this draft.
Okay. I'm same line of thinking. I'm just going Evan Neal.
Okay.
This is like, if you're the Houston Texans, like you just really can't mess this up.
Yeah.
And Evan Neal is like a very safe O-lineman pick. He's a beast. He's awesome. I think Icky, from what I've heard, I think like maybe has a little bit of a higher ceiling, but isn't necessarily like Evan Neal, Alabama left tackle. Every 2 years, one gets picked in the top 10, and he always ends up being good.
Yeah, fair.
So take Evan Neal. Don't mess it up.
That's very fair. And now I'm gonna do with our home neighbors. I'm gonna go Jets. And like I said earlier to start this episode, I'm gonna be pretty aggressive here. Because you want to know why? I think they're gonna follow the method that the Bengals did. I'm gonna go wide receiver with the 4th pick. Now, some people are saying that they go edge rusher, they maybe go Thibodeau here, and then you wait to get your wide receiver with the 10th pick. I say fuck that. It's their number one need. It's their number one need right now as a wide receiver. They desperately need wide receiver for their boy Zach. Why risk it when you have a lot of like wide receiver needy teams like the Eagles who like to trade up? You have a lot. There's a certain team that likes to trade up. A lot of teams. Why risk when you have the 4th overall pick? You can get the best guy on the board, and that's who I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Garrett Wilson from the Ohio State.
Okay.
Maybe Drake London. Drake London goes there as well. I'm going to go wide receiver there. I'm going to say they go wide receiver at pick 4. Aggressive.
I don't think they go Drake London just because of how hard like they pursued Tyreek Hill. Like they clearly want a speed guy there. And Drake London's more of your like contested ball, classic X receiver guy. So I think they go speed. I don't hate that. I certainly a little out there. I'm going to go Kayvon. Just like super, super talented. Saleh's still trying to build up that defense. I thought about going Sauce, but the Jets I think they picked up a few corners in free agency. So I'm just going to go Thibodeau. And I actually like that pick for the Jets. I don't know, like Thibodeau is so weird. I could see him going like 2 or like 12 because everybody like seems to think he doesn't like football, which I think is like the weirdest thing to come out every year. It's like this guy doesn't truly love the game. It's like, all right, well, I guarantee if you pay him $20 million, he'll go and play. Like,
I'm gonna grow as an analyst. We'll call myself. I'm gonna grow. I think I was probably saying I didn't say that Micah Parsons didn't love the game. I said he had off the field issues that I was nervous about. But Micah Parsons, like some people were like talking about his him not loving the game as much, stuff like that, which is just it's an asinine quote. It truly is.
It seems like he's having a lot of fun, honestly.
Yeah, like winning defensive player of the year, and defensive rookie of the year, and he's easily the best player to come out of that draft. I mean, besides maybe Jamar Chase, but like he's one of the better players to come out of that draft, definitely. And like if we had him, that'd be really cool as the Giants.
I wanted him. You didn't want him.
I know, which I'm trying to grow. So I agree with you. I think the Kayvon Thibodeau, and then also like people were saying that like he is maybe arrogant or whatever, which I think is another stupid take. Like, because someone asked him, I don't know if it was us. It might have been. It's one of those like bigger markets asked him like in the combine, like, how do you feel about playing in a big city? And he's like, well, I've always kind of played in a big city. Like I think he's from he's like from LA, so he was like from the top like LA football team in high school, and then he went to Oregon, which is a top Pac-12, it's a top school. in college football. Like he's always been like the spotlight, and like he was like, I don't really. It's like, but what do you want him to say? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I think some of it's stupid. I think it's a little overhyped. But besides the point, let's go to our pick, our first overall pick with the Giants. I really do wish Ikem falls to us. Again, I have him not falling to us. Again, I'm just gonna go Evan Neal. They're gonna go get that offensive line out of the way. I liked Matt Pert, but he's done. So now you have both Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal as your two tackles, both very young, and you just kind of let that go. And I'm assuming, like I love Danny, me, but I'm assuming Danny will be on the team for much longer. So whoever the guy is, the next guy, he's gonna have two really good young offensive linemen to work with, and then you kind of build in from there. You kind of get the young center, and you kind of go with that part. So I like that right there.
I'm going Icky.
Yeah.
Same thought process. We just have them flipped. I think I really do think there's like a 30% chance that Danny actually has like a great year this year. Not just good. There's like a 30% chance. The other 70% is not like he has a good year. He has like, again, just another Daniel Jones year. Like there's no chance that he's like, you know what, Danny was okay this year. I feel like he's either going to be unreal or suck. But that's just Danny things. Yeah, I like the pick. He's just a great offensive lineman. The Giants have been like bottom of the league in offensive line for years and years and years now. And I know the fans are fed up with it. Joe Shane made it a point that this is something that he's come to address. And
he wants to change.
I would be floored if we got him there. I'd be pumped. I'd be pumped with Evan Neal too, honestly.
Which I honestly really do think that's a very good possibilities between those two. Because I really do like the top two being those two edge rushers. Houston's kind of a wild card. And then the Jets, I don't believe are going to go edge rusher tackle, because they've shown a lot of like trust in Mekhi Becton, and they have this other guy who I'm kind of forgetting his name, but they like him a lot too. Like George Stan, something like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They like him a lot too. So I think they're pretty set on their tackles, and I feel pretty good about this. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Okay, let's go with the next pick, which I really am at a loss to words. I'm going to do a disgustingly awful pick, and I'm going to go with Charles Cross. He seems to be the number 3 guy he's number 3 lineman on my board. Apparently he's a little more of a project kind of guy, but they need, obviously it says needs offensive line. They need a lineman, right? They need linemen. This could be a quarterback, and this could also be a trade. So I don't want to be aggressive and go Malik Willis, because I like Malik Willis the most here as the number 1 quarterback in this draft. But I'm just going to go pretty basic, and I'm going to go Charles Cross.
Okay.
I kind of hate
it. I really don't think that's a trade out spot, because I don't see anyone trying to jump in front of the Giants. Like, what's the point?
Well, that's fair as well.
But I don't hate the pick. I don't think that Charles Cross. I think there's a big gap between Neal, Ekwonu, and Cross, and he's just not with those other two. So I think, like, as dumb as it sounds, like teams are going to feel bad getting a significantly worse player at the same position 1 pick later.
Yeah.
They're also, you cannot look your guys in the face, tell them you're trying to win, and put Sam Darnold on the football field. You cannot do that.
Yeah.
You're coaching for your job. You got to go Kenny Pickett.
Wow.
Rule recruited him to Temple. Yeah, they have a little history there. And he's the most like pro ready one. Like, you just don't want a disaster here, I think. And I think Pickett's a decent pick here. I don't think it works out, but the Panthers are kind of a clown show organization these days. But clown show organizations do clown show things, and that's what the Jets do every year.
So now listen, I like this pick because they supposedly, like, the Panthers have denied that they're going to trade for Baker Mayfield. So maybe either they're going to go into it being like, Sam's our guy, which you're right. You really can't look at your team and be like, Sam's our guy.
Yeah, or you can't honestly be trying to win games and put that man on a field.
Yeah, and then also if you're Matt Rule, like,
bad.
Matt Rule is on the steamy hot fire seat. Like, he needs to do something. So
yeah, big time.
So yeah, I'm gonna go Kenny. Yeah, I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. I like quarterback there. I don't hate it. I like it. Okay, now we're gonna go Giants. And again, if this is what ends up being, I'm pretty pumped for this because I'm gonna go with Sauce Gardner, and there's a couple of reasons as to why. First of all, awesome name. And also, if you look at our cap space situation. We need around $12 million. I don't know the exact numbers, but we need around like $12 million, something like that, to be able to sign all of our rookies. If you want to do that, you need to cut, or James Bradbury needs to not be on the team. So how do you replace James Bradbury? It's with Ahmad Gardner. They also there's been a lot of like questions to Joe Shane. Obviously, he's not going to try to tip his hat, as all good GMs don't do, but he's been kind of like cryptic with what he's been saying. Like, it seems like they really want to get Sauce Gardner here so they can trade away James Bradbury and be able to sign all their rookies, because we have a lot of picks. So we have a lot of like money to give to these rookies.
Yeah, I'm going Sauce too.
Really good pick.
Again, I'd be pumped if this happens. He's a really good corner, and apparently, like from what I've heard, I don't really know what I'm talking about, but this is what I've heard. He's like a great fit for Wink's system, and he's like, again, I know everyone says it all the time, but like didn't give up a touchdown as a 4-year starter. Like, that's unreal. He's just a great player, and I think between him and Stingley, they're kind of both really good corners. But Gardner's just he was healthy. He's been playing football, and he's a beast. He's big. He's fast. He can run. I'd be pumped if he was on the Giants.
So go into what you're saying about Wink's defense. Wink likes to play a lot of like, and I also equally don't really know a lot what I'm talking about, but Wink,
it's just like shell, right?
Yeah, and he likes to play a lot of like press man stuff, and his kind of idea of like sacks, because he likes to pressure the defense, and the only way that he likes to give good pressure on defense is he wants to make sure that his back half is covered with wide receivers. Like, the wide receivers aren't going to be so he's aggressive. Right. So he really likes to have those press man kind of guys, and Ahmad Gardner is really long. I mean, we can get his height right here. Let's see. Yeah, he's 6'3", 190. You know what I mean? Obviously young. He's a stud. And you're right. Like, he didn't let up a touchdown, which is absolutely nuts in all of football, like in all of his 4 years at school. And you could be like, oh, he was in Cincinnati. Well, yeah, he played against all three of those Alabama wide receivers that are like, he played against Jameson Williams. He played against a bunch of studs and like was totally fine. It was not the reason as to why they lost. So he's a stud player. I would be really pumped for this.
That's the thing too. Like, I think not giving up a touchdown for all of college, like, obviously you're a good player, but it also speaks to focus and like you just like didn't make any mistakes, right?
Yeah.
So he seems like a smart kid, and like that's really what you need if he's going to be one-on-one in like an exotic defense all the time. And also for like exotic blitzes, I'd like to have someone who's 6'3" coming off the edge.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a great look.
And again, I've just to get off, last thing on Ahmad, I've also heard a lot about like how he's really smart, really off the field, a good guy and everything. That's like what we kind of need, especially for like trying to, I mean, I know this is kind of like a cliche, but like we are like trying to build a culture. You're trying to build something, and you don't want like a hooligan.
Tony.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm a big fan of this. Okay, now we're gonna go with the Falcons. And to me, right here, if I'm the Falcons, I'm not gonna lie, I would not mind trading out of this pick, especially because your main needs, as you can see here, is interior like linemen, and like that's really it. I don't really see them going quarterback. I mean, they could possibly. So when I was originally doing this, I was having a really hard time, but then I saw that Kayvon Thibodeau has not been drafted yet, and to me, I just feel like I've let him fall a little too far. I think I just have to go Kayvon Thibodeau here at Falcons. It might not be a massive need for them, but it's just one of those things where it's like he's fallen too far. It's too good of a pick to like let up.
That's fair. Yeah. We're gonna, I think, have pretty similar opinions. We have basically like the same board, just with like a few minor exceptions, and I've picked it. I'm gonna throw in. I think I'm going Garrett Wilson here. Like, they just lost Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
They need something they need someone to throw the ball to. He's a great player. And I think like after seeing like the track record that Ohio State receivers had started to have in the league, could be Olave, could be Williams, it could be Drake London, but I think Garrett Wilson is who they go with. And I really like that for them, actually. And I think the Jets are a little tight that he didn't slide back to them.
I don't hate that at all. I think it's a pretty good pick, actually. And yeah, I think you're right. But then that's in the same situation. Like, that's where you're at with the Jets, where it's like, damn, like we got a pretty good, but we need a wide receiver. And it's like you let up maybe Garrett Wilson is your top guy. That's why I like him at 4. Getting aggressive. I'm aggressive. And here's another pick too is Seattle. Like, I don't know what Seattle wants to do. Seattle's a weird team. But with this situation, like, I'm just gonna go. I think I'm gonna go edge rusher. It's a pick I don't like. I know Purdue, like people seem to like this George Kalafdis, this guy.
Yeah.
I don't really like this pick, but they need an edge rusher, so I'm just gonna go with George, and I'm gonna say they're upset about losing Kayvon. I hate that pick though. I really don't like it.
Okay, I'm going to go with Charles Cross.
Okay.
Their O-line is really bad. I just think he fits in here. Again, not as good as the other two, but still pretty good prospect. And just like the Seahawks are starting from square one, and left tackle is not a bad place to start.
Yeah, they're not winning anything. And it's like Charles Cross is the kind of guy like you want to, he is the kind of guy, like he's a little bit of a project. So you want to build off of him, and like they're not going anywhere. So it's a good pick to just be like, do your thing. Okay, now we're gonna go here with Jets.
You really think there's a good chance Thibodeau's on the board there
Where?
at 8?
Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, Kayvon, like like you're right. Like he literally could be the first pick in the draft. I mean, he can't, but he could be like a top 3 pick in the draft, or he could be like something like this, where I am a number 8. Like he really could fall. I mean, I personally think the Giants would take him if we didn't have Wink. And the fact that we have Wink, he doesn't like to build. It's not how he likes to build his defense. He likes having those really good corners, and he likes just having like maulers up front. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just almost more of like coverage sacks in a way, and like a lot of pressure, and just like beating the hell out of the guy until you get to the quarterback. So that's why I don't think we're gonna go Kayvon, but we easily could. I really do think he could be there at 7. I really do. So
Okay.
it's tough. But okay, now I'm gonna go with Jets here. I'm gonna go Jets. I'm gonna go Derek Stingley Jr. You're right. They have picked up some corners. They don't have the worst secondary. But this key just makes your secondary better. He is a little bit of a project again. So he can kind of sit behind those guys that they just picked up and sort of play out how like this is gonna go for him. But yeah, I like Stingley here at 10. They need a corner.
Okay.
He's a really good corner.
I'm gonna go Jermaine Johnson. Oh no, sorry. Looked at the wrong one.
No.
I'm doing Drake London.
Okay, nice. That's a good pick.
Yeah, I just like the Jets have telegraphed that they want a wide receiver. I gave Garrett Wilson away already to Falcons. So yeah, I think he's just the next best receiver. Seems to be getting a lot of hype. I think the Jets need a receiver, so let's match him up.
Dude, I just realized I made a mistake. I like Seattle getting Jermaine Johnson. I've messed up. That's all me. But I do like Jermaine Johnson to Seattle. I think that's the best pick. Do
you ever make decisions here? Like part of what's going through my brain and is how their name would look on a type of jersey.
And London on a Jets jersey would be neat. Right.
No, I think like that just like looks right for some reason. Like to me, like Thibodeau looks right in the Falcons one where you have him, but he also looks right in the Jets uniform. Like there's some guys who just don't look like Hutchinson doesn't feel like it'll look right in the Jags uniform.
No, I don't feel like Hutchinson would look good in that Jags uniform in general. Like I just think he's a weird dude.
Yeah, I know it's weird, but it's like it goes through my mind every time. Like, could I see this guy in the uniform?
That's fair. Okay, so now we're gonna go to number 11. Damn, I'm really mad about my Seattle pick, but that's whatever. Okay, number 11.
Can you go back?
Well,
I could undo.
Well, I could just take a pick. I could do this. We could do this. It's a little bit of a process here.
Nah, just roll them.
But I could just take a picture real quick and then just like redraft real quick. Okay. But number 11. So I'm going to talk about the fact like it says the need for quarterback is apparently what the football team needs, and that's apparently like just not what's going to happen. They
have the GOAT.
Yeah, well, obviously the Carson Wentz is like not a great quarterback, but they have Carson Wentz, and it's like that's kind of who they've decided to be like their guy. I mean, I don't see them going quarterback in the slightest, but I could be wrong. I also like don't really like I get annoyed that people like don't like interior linemen in the top picks, you know what I mean? As like a top 10 pick, because you had the guy like what's his name? Quentin Nelson.
Oh,
Well, like Linderbaum's really good, but you have a guy like Quentin Nelson. Like he went top 10, and look what he did to that Colts like offensive line. You know what I mean?
yeah. Um, so who are you going with then?
Um, Give me 2 seconds because
Well,
I gotta. You tell
okay,
me who
I'll
you
talk.
want to go.
Yeah. I'm going to stop the drop for your boy that has been happening a little bit here. We saw him mocked a lot higher earlier, but
Mm.
Kyle Hamilton, he kind of been falling down draft boards. He's a safety again, like a position that people don't necessarily like to spend super high draft capital on, but he's a really good player. I've heard like really good things about him, and like Landon Collins has been so bad for the Commanders that they need some secondary help. Their defense is already great, but their secondary is not. So I think Kyle Hamilton is like a perfect fit here. He's seems like a smart player and he's like crazy big and athletic. So I think that's a good fit. And I'm not really sure like where they would address anything on offense here. I guess they could go lineman, but I don't really see them doing that. And again, I think they're rolling with Wentz. There's a chance they go receiver. That's the only thing I could see them doing other than Hamilton is receiver.
I like it. I'm gonna actually disagree with you. I'm gonna go with that. They go with this guy named Nico or Devin Lloyd. Sorry, Devin Lloyd,
The linebacker.
linebacker from Utah. Very good. I've seen him like run pursuit is unreal, and their defenses took a step back, so they do need good defense.
They have that front seven though. Like that's not the problem with the football or the Commanders.
I don't know. It wasn't as good as it was in the 2 years ago when we were in 2020.
Yeah.
So who knows? But obviously, like I am Kyle Hamilton. I'm a big Notre Dame guy, as most of you probably know, but Kyle Hamilton is my boy. Is very depressing to me. I'm getting ready because I think he might become an Eagle. I'm okay with him becoming a Commander. I could care less. I don't really care that Commanders that much. If he becomes an Eagle, really like watch out because I'm gonna be upset. It's gonna be like it's gonna be a really like really sad day if it becomes an Eagle, and I'm preparing myself mentally for that. But yes, I'm gonna go with Devin Lloyd here at linebacker. Now, number 12, what I will do is I will go Kyle Hamilton. You're right. The kid has fallen down too much. He might be one of the best players in this draft. He's an absolute stud. Um, he's a really their secondary is pretty weak. Their defense is pretty weak. He is an absolute blanket for you over top. I mean, there's been times where he's literally been on the other side of the field, ran all the way over and intercepted the ball. Again, great player. And obviously, like they like he's kind of like Harrison Smith in a way from Notre Dame connection with the with the safeties. So who knows? Again, very big. I mean, we can get his height here, 6'4", 220. So you almost could put him like get him a little bigger and almost put him at like some sort of like
Right.
linebacker.
And I think he ran like 4.5 too.
Yeah, like he's a stud. He's a stud. Trust me. Okay, who you going at Vikings?
I really like this pick. I'm going Jermaine Johnson.
Nice.
This is one of the ones where it just looks really good in the uniform. I think Hamilton also looks good in that Minnesota purple, but Jermaine Johnson the second just looks great. He's apparently like a really good athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know, but it sounds like he might be a little raw, but he's just exceptionally athletic and explosive off the edge. The Vikings have been horrible at rushing the passer over the last couple of years when they used to be really good. And I think that's like really something that they're going to need because they need defensive playmakers. Like their offense is good, but it's Kirk Cousins. Like he's not going to go blow anyone out except for like 3 times a year at 1:00. But yeah, I really like that pick. I feel good about it, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on it.
I don't hate it, and you're right. It does kind of go with that purple and gold sort of thing. And you're right. Like they do need edge. Obviously, you can see here they lost Hunter, right? They lost him, I think, a year or two ago now. So they're struggling out there. I think they got. Did they get? No, they didn't get Quiddy paid, but they got someone last year who hasn't really fully done anything. They're just not. They're a weird team. They're like an in between team where they don't really know. Like they should be rebuilding, but they don't want to rebuild yet. So I like that. I don't hate that. Okay, now here's my pick for the Texans. I'm just gonna go with the number 1 corner that's on the board right now, and that's this guy named McDuffie. Do I know a ton about McDuffie? No, I do not. I did not watch a lot of Washington football last year, but PFF has him ranked as like the number 2 or number 3 corner. And when you are a team that's like the Houston Texans, who, as it says here, needs every position, what are the main 3 positions that you need? Quarterback, you don't want to get a quarterback this draft. Left tackle to protect the cornerback, and then a corner or to protect the quarterback, and then a cornerback to intercept the quarterback. Look at that. So
There you go.
that was pretty big. So I'm just gonna go with like the top 3 positions of need, and they get 2 of those in this draft, and that are pretty solid. I mean, obviously McDuffie's not the number 1 or 2. He's not Sauce or Stingley, but he's a solid player.
I think it's gonna go a little differently than that. We're taking different thought processes here with the Houston Texans. I am going to go with Jordan Davis. Right. Like when your team need just says every position.
I like Jordan Davis.
Right. You just have to take the best players. This guy's a beast. He's like 6'6", like 350 or something. Like he is a beast. Good run stopper. He showed out the combine. He's athletic. He's just a really, really good player. And when you're not like when you need everything, you take the best of what you can get. And he's a really good player.
I'm gonna get his 40 time right here. Yeah, Jordan Davis ran a 4.78 at 341 pounds.
Yeah,
like he is a mauler. And the reason, like, I could see that. I mean, I really could, but I didn't want to do that because I kind of followed your method here for the next pick. Because my next pick is gonna be Jordan Davis because I just love Jordan Davis. In that dark purple and black like uniform.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I'm not gonna lie. And I also was listening. I listened to Part of My Take, and I was listening to Part of My Take, and they had Daniel Jeremiah was talking about how he would love to see the Ravens take him, especially because again, one of their top needs defensive line. And imagine they had Jordan Davis and Calais Campbell roll into your town, like that's disgusting. There's like 2 of like the top, biggest, and fastest guys. So yeah, I do really like that pick, especially if he falls to the Ravens. I really do think the Ravens go with Jordan Davis.
Okay, I like that. Now I'm looking at the Ravens here, and what do the Ravens need? They needed O-line help. They signed Morgan Moses, I think is his name, and that's kind of shored up the pick that they were going to have. What I thought they were going to have, I thought they were going to go O-line. I'm in between the Karlaftis guy, but I still have Stingley on the board.
And they need a corner.
Yeah, I think I got to go Stingley here. Haven't fallen a little bit, but this would be like a perfect landing spot. Their defense is good. Like they just have a good culture there. And I think he'd pan out well and be like a really valuable asset for them.
I don't hate that, especially if you in your mock, you haven't fallen there. And like, that's a pretty good spot. And it's so even though Wink has left that team, they still like it's pretty much the same thing. It's still like Harbaugh's there, like it's the same coaching staff. I bet like the guy who I don't know who they hired to be their defensive coordinator. I'm not sure. I don't follow my Ravens news that much, but I'm sure it's like a disciple of Wink, and they're gonna do the same thing. I mean, that's always what they've kind of done anyway. They've always had a really, really crazy, just massive mauler front seven, and then like really solid like defensive backs that like have a lot of good like man defense. So yeah, I think it's a solid pick. I like that. Okay, now on to the Philadelphia Shitbirds, who I despise. They need a wide receiver, and I honestly just think like that's one of they've always like wanted to get this wide receiver, and they've never been able to hit. I mean, they have the only good wide receiver they have on that team right now is like Devontae Smith, and even then, I think he's a little sketchy. But you have Devontae Smith, Jalen Reagor is dog shit. Like he's not going to be the team for much longer, so you need a guy to kind of like replace Jalen Reagor. So I'm just going to go with Jameson Williams, another Alabama wide receiver, connection with him and Devontae. They just be like, oh, you know what, like Devontae worked, so like Jameson's got to work. He's an Alabama boy. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Jameson Williams here.
Okay, I'm gonna go your boy from Utah, Devin Lloyd. Says that they need linebackers. I would agree. The Philly defense wasn't great last year, and you kind of need to shore up some things there. And if he's a tackling machine, that's something that they're looking for. They got to play a little conservative with Hurts at quarterback on both offense and defense. But I don't know, like the Philly's always just been like a nasty defense. You know what I mean? Like they're just going to come after you. But so a really, really, really good tackling linebacker in the first round is a good place to like start off your defense and shore it up.
Okay, I don't hate that. Okay, on to our next pick. We have the Saints. And the Saints have a lot of needs. Quarterback, I don't think they're going to go. Again, this just isn't the year. It's just not the year. It's not rich. But they also need a wide receiver and a tackle. Their offensive line's like struggling. It's getting a little old. It's getting a little beat up. And their wide receivers, you don't know what you have with Michael Thomas. Like, I don't know if he's going to play again. I really don't. And everyone else like is pretty bad on that team for wide receivers. So I think they're really dying for a wide receiver here. And I think they just go Drake Landon, which I think is going to be really upsetting for the Chargers, who I think are desperately like in need for, would love him to be like their wide receiver 2 to Mike Williams and stuff like that. And even Keenan Allen as he starts to kind of fade out and be another piece for what's his name? Herbert. So yeah, I like this pick. I like Drake Landon.
Okay. The Saints, right? Like I wanted to go quarterback here, but then they just signed Andy Dalton. So like they got Jameis, they have Andy Dalton. Like that's just really not what they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
So I think that you go Penning here. Get them their tackle. They need some O-line help. I was thinking about going Linderbaum.
Mm-hmm.
The Saints are the type of team to like make weird moves like that or reach on someone like that. But yeah. I think Penning, you need a tackle. You went and got one. You give him a shot. He seems like he's pretty good. He's a mauler, but guy has to fix up some things. And I think the Saints, like you don't have Sean Payne, but you're ready to do your thing. So let's go with Penning.
Not a bad pick. Not a bad pick, especially because I'm kind of in between two things right now. Because last year, the defensive line for the Chargers was abysmal. Their run stopping was abysmal. And I originally, like when I was redoing this by myself, like trying to like get my notes, I was originally going to go defensive line here, and I was just going to pick the best defensive lineman. And I was going to pick this guy Wyatt, who's from Georgia, and he was on that crazy defensive line. He has to be good. But now that I look at it, I think I'm going to follow you a little bit, and I'm going to go Penning at here. Just another tackle. You have Rashawn Slater. You just want to protect your boy Herbert. He is the golden goose. He's going to be the guy for the next, knock on wood, 15 years. But yeah, I'm gonna go Penning here. He is an animal. I don't know if you watched him at the Senior Bowl, but yeah, he's a mauler. He's aggressive. Wants to fight like everybody. Like he tried fighting like literally every single time. Like he finished a rep, it was like I want to fight you. Like he would start a fight, which I like. I like that, but he's not going to be the 5th pick in the draft. So yeah, I like that pick for me.
Okay, I'm going to go McDuffie here.
Ooh.
The Chargers have been bad at cornerback for so long, and they've tried to address it via free agency quite a bit. It hasn't quite worked out yet. I think they signed J.C. Jackson actually, but they still need corner help.
Yep.
And I think McDuffie's like a good fit here. Like he's fallen a little bit. The Chargers are going to meet him.
Now, here's me gonna be my hot take, J.C. Jackson take, which I'm ready for a lot of backlash on this, but I'm wondering if he's going to be sort of like the Nate Solder that we had, where he was a stud at the Patriots. Like when I first saw that, I literally got like flashbacks of Nate Solder. Stud, one of the top cornerbacks at the Patriots. They let him go. And he didn't get he's not the biggest. He's not Denzel Ward money, but he got a really good contract, just like Nate Solder got. Just as something, I just want, like, if J.C. Jackson's a bad year, you heard it here first at Tully Broadcasting. Okay. Now we're going to go back to these shitbirds, who I despise. And here is where I'm going to probably just take my Nakobe Dean. I'm just going to go linebacker here. They need a linebacker, like you said. They'd like to have that mauler kind of defense. They like to have that big, tough defense. Is Brandon Graham still there?
Yeah.
Okay, but he's old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's getting up there. So you need a kind of guy to replace him. I think Nakobe Dean could be a really good player, especially, again, he was on that Georgia's legendary defense. He's a really good player. And I also even think, like, he's a really good leader, too. Like, I remember watching a specific play during the college football playoffs, and one of his, like, teammates made a mistake, and he, like, kind of, like, yelled at his teammate, and the very next play, his teammate, like, completely made the correct play. So he's a good leader. I think he's a good kid. I'm going Nakobe Dean here. I could be wrong on who did that, though, but that's who I believe did that.
Could you scroll up for me a little bit?
Yes.
Let me see my picks. Okay, so I've done. All right, sounds good. I'm ready. I think the Eagles go. The Eagles always try to get cute at receiver. I'm trying to figure out what receiver to give them.
They're really bad. Like they go really bad.
Yeah. Like, who do I think is gonna bust? I'll give him Jahan Dotson.
That does sound so Eagles.
Right.
I don't even know it's Dotson, D-O-T, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so Eagles of them. And Penn State. That is very Eagles.
You like that?
I love that
like,
a lot, actually.
The chance that hits is low, but it was just I got to get into the Eagles mindset.
It's actually not even that low, to be totally honest with you, especially because when they drafted last year, or not last year, in 2020, when they had literally Justin Jefferson, it was between Justin Jefferson, the kid from LSU, and Jalen Reagor, the kid from TCU. And they go Jalen Reagor, who's a bum. That is
Then,
so Eagles. I actually
and
do
then
that.
last year, like they just had a layup. Like, cool, you get to pick the guy who won the Heisman. Like,
Yeah, but that's why I kind of feel like they're just gonna go Jameson Williams because they like have got success picking the guy from Alabama. So they're just like, I just feel like everyone in that room is gonna be like, don't do a weird like Pac-10 school, don't do or Pac-12 school, like don't do a stupid like 10 school that no one cares about. Like go with the guy, go with the fucking guarantee.
right, but they're too like prideful to really be like.
Yeah, they're too dumb.
Yeah,
I agree. I like that a lot. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to Saints here again, and I had them going Drake Landon, so they're kind of in need for offensive line, like we said. They're gotten old. I'm gonna kind of take a reach here. I kind of hate this. Like they're probably gonna trade out of this pick. I just don't really know like who they're gonna trade with. We're not really doing trades. It's like a little too complicated. So I'm just gonna go with um I hate this, but I'm just gonna go with like the best tackle that we have here on the board, and it's gonna be Bernard
Raymond.
Raymond from Central Michigan. Hey, good offensive lineman. Go.
It's a weird one, bro.
That's a terrible pick by me. But like I really do think they're gonna trade out of this. They just don't really like there's nothing there for them. They're probably gonna trade out of it. They have 2 picks. You're gonna get another pick next year. So I don't hate that.
Okay. I don't hate it. I think the Saints, I really want to give them a quarterback, but I'm not allowed to. I'd just be dumb.
You're allowed to do whatever you want.
Yeah, but like they just signed Dalton. Give me Jameson Williams.
Yeah.
This is a very, very Saints name, very Saints pick. Like I'm all in on it.
Fire. And so we pretty much have it just flip flop. Like we do have a very similar draft, but like, we have a flip flop. I have Drake Landon or London. You have, and then a tackle from some weird school, and you have Trevor Penning, a tackle from some weird school, and Jameson Williams. So yeah,
I think the Saints would be more happy with my draft.
yeah, I think.
But again, you just didn't give the Eagles like the 6th rated wide receiver for fun. I did.
Dude, but that is an Eagles thing. Like you couldn't be more right about that. That is an Eagles thing.
Thanks, man.
Okay, so now we're gonna go with my next pick, and I like it. It's gonna be the first quarterback off the board. I'm going Malik Willis being the first quarterback off my board. Whoa, big shocker. So yeah, I think Malik Willis is gonna be here, especially because you have a guy like Mitchell Trubisky. He's a perfect stopgap kind of guy. You know, he's not gonna win. He's not gonna like win you any games. Not gonna really lose any games. And you let Malik Willis kind of sit behind him. Obviously, Malik Willis. Everyone says he has this massive ceiling. So you're gonna just let him sit and just kind of play out the year. Maybe start over Mitch halfway. Everyone says he's a project, but he has a really good arm and everything. I watched him play. I did watch the Liberty Ole Miss game, and he didn't kill it. So, but I mean, obviously, you could say that you could obviously attribute that to like the fact that he's on Liberty. He doesn't have anyone to kill it with. So yeah, but I'm gonna go Malik Willis here at quarterback, first quarterback.
All right. I'm either going. Doesn't Desmond Ridder just seem like a Steelers quarterback? Like I think I'm gonna go Willis, but dude, Willis does not seem like it, and Ridder does. But I'll go Willis just because that's such a reach, and I can't do that just for
the memes.
just for vibes. Like I'll go with Willis. I don't know. I see Willis like as a possibility a little further up the board with Atlanta, and maybe like I have Pickett going to the Panthers. Maybe
Yeah, flip flop.
they go
Yeah,
Willis instead of Pickett. Like who knows? So kind of up in the air. Yeah, I feel fine with that. I think he's gonna be a good player.
yeah. Again, like we said, this is a weird draft. You really like. I don't like. You don't really know with anybody. I really like. There's a lot of like, honestly, you worded it perfectly. A lot of like depth, not a lot of high talent. So who knows? But all right, let's go here with the Patriots. And I'm gonna do like a Patriot thing, and then just because obviously it says here they need edge. I mean, they could go wide receiver. I think I originally, when I was doing this, I did have them going wide receiver, but that just seems like not Patriot way of them to do wide receiver. Although they should. They should get their boy Mac Jones another player. But George
Karlaftis.
Karlaftis seems so Patriots to me. I'm gonna go George.
Yeah, I'm going with him too. It's just a white linebacker, like
Yeah.
sign Bill up.
that wakes Bill up in the middle of the night. That gets Bill going. That's what I'm saying. Like they definitely should probably like in at least where I'm at. Like I have Chris Olave on the board, and they should go Chris Olave, but to give Mac Jones another player, but that's not the Patriot way. So yeah, I like George Calafutara, whatever. I can't say his name. I apologize, George. I can't say your name. Okay, so now we're gonna do something kind of crazy. Aaron has been very mad. He hates the.
It's a wide receiver. If it's not a wide receiver, dude, he's gonna.
Aaron's gonna be triggered, and we're gonna be Aaron a really good wide receiver.
Problems.
We're gonna go Aaron with Chris Olave, and if Chris Olave doesn't fall than him, a lot of people like this Sky Moore kid. He's a little small, but he's a good wide receiver out of the MAC. And I was listening to Daniel Jeremiah today. He said he really likes him, so he might be there but Chris Olave is not there. But yeah, I'm gonna go Chris Olave. They're gonna go wide receiver. If they go O-line, like if they go any kind of defensive position, I think Aaron's gonna be so triggered, and it's gonna be funny. But yeah.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm rolling to Chris Olave.
Damn, we're in a weird spot, me and you.
Yeah, I just think like he's a good route runner. Like don't overthink it. Don't Eagles it. But yeah, it's just like you need to do this or Aaron is gonna kill you.
And also, like you just lost Devontae, like, and you lost Marquise Valdes-Scantling.
Yeah.
Who is their wide receivers?
Equanimous.
Who he hates.
They have the
Lazard.
Like they have like Kumaro.
Yeah, like they need a wide receiver badly. They might even trade up, honestly.
I think they just might go double wide receiver here with their next pick, but
it's not a bad pick. Okay, so now we're gonna go here with the Cardinals, and I like this a lot. Sadly, I wanted the bomb to fall to us, but the bomb will not be there in the second round. I'm going Linderbaum to the Cardinals. I think to me, it makes the most sense. They desperately need to fix it off the line to protect Kyler. He's always getting hurt all the time, and it's just because like he's a small guy. No offense to you, Kyler, but he's a small guy. Like he's always getting hurt. You need to protect Kyler. Linderbaum's the kind of guy to do it. He's a good centerpiece for them.
Okay, I like that. I'm also gonna go with Linderbaum.
Damn.
Yeah, I just think like it was O-line or D-line, and the bomb is just too fire.
I do love Linderbaum.
I think they have decent tackles, and like it reminds me of the Isaiah Simmons pick. Like it's not really like a super highly sought after position, but he's the best player that's available. So they're gonna take him and figure it out. And I think they do the same with Linderbaum.
Yeah. Okay. I don't hate it. This next pick here. So I'm looking at it, right? The Cowboys, their offensive line's getting old. It is getting old. But with the weapons that they have, you don't need the best offensive line to get you through it. You know what I mean? You got guys like CeeDee Lamb, no longer Amari Cooper, sadly, but you also have Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard. Like you have really good players on that team that can kind of like Michael Gallup, you have him, like you can just kind of like get through without the best offensive line. And they'll probably have like above average offensive line. And right now there's no good offensive lineman here. So I'm just gonna go with the best defensive lineman here, and I'm just gonna go with Devontae Wyatt. They need a defensive line. Their run defense was not great last year. Their defense in general was pretty bad. I know everyone loves Trayvon Diggs, but he's a pretty bad player. Like, I don't really like him that much. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with Devontae Wyatt, defensive line.
Okay, I'm gonna go Nakobe Dean if I haven't picked him yet already.
That's a good pick. I think you
They need
have
they
him.
need some help. Van Der Esch sucks,
Yeah, they do at
and he's
linebacker badly.
washed, and they just need someone to come up and make tackles again. Part of that big Georgia defense, and yeah, I think it's a good pick by them, honestly.
Yeah, I don't have any good linebackers here for them to take, but that's a great pick. If the Kobe Dean is there, like I will cry because that would be a beautiful pick for them, especially having Micah Parsons and the Kobe Dean, and you can get rid of guys like Van Der Esch, which is so weird. Like they have like him and Jalen Smith were like like a stud linebacker core, and now they're horrendous. Like nobody has like they're like off. They're barely gonna be on teams. Okay, so now here we go with the Bills, the hometown Bills for some people. Um, I'm gonna go with something a little crazy, but I'm gonna go with Sky Moore, little Mac action. Um, they need he's a 5'10", like little slot wide receiver. They don't really have any great slot wide receivers, and they could use one. And that's really all their needs are. Like I can't really think of anything on the line they really need. They don't. Their defense is totally fine. It was a really good defense last year. Got better towards the end. So yeah, I'm gonna go with wide receiver Sky Moore.
I'm looking at the mock Daniel Jeremiah's mock right now, and he's got them going with Brees Hall. I just don't think they go running back, although they like kind of need some running back help. Like, I just don't see them doing that. Like, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Brandon Bean is like Joe Shane. They don't seem like running backs in the first round type of guys.
No, they're smart.
So I'm gonna go Zion Johnson. He's an interior O lineman. The Bills had some injuries on the O line last year. Had some replacement players come in and do okay, but I still think they'd like a starter. They can improve.
That's not a bad idea, especially because they also lost two of their guys to us, Feliciano, and they lost another guy.
The other guy wasn't a starter, but
I'm kind of forgetting. Yeah. But yeah, they lost Feliciano, so like they could use an interior lineman. So yeah, not bad at all.
Nice.
There we go. All right, now we're on to. I'm going to kind of follow you here. I'm going to go with the Tennessee. They just love to have like you need line when you have Tennessee because you just have Derrick Henry as like your offense. Derrick Henry is just their offense. Especially if the whole AJ Brown situation they figured out. So I'm going to go Zion Johnson here. With their interior lineman. Again, he's probably the better lineman on the board right now. I just kind of spoke that out of my ass, but I just think he probably is. PFF has him rated high, so we'll go with that. And he's been on the board for a while, so he kind of fallen. Zion Johnson. Why not?
Okay. I don't hate it. You can give them Bernard Raymond for me. Yeah. They need O-line. I'm just going to give them Bernard. Don't really know a lot about you, Bernard, but seem like a good guy.
I know nothing about Bernard, but we're going to go Bernard. I'm in the same boat there. Okay, so now we're going to go with the next pick, Tampa Bay. Now we're starting to get we're kind of been at that point where like I'm just sort of picking to pick. I don't really know who these players are, but we're going to go with just a lineman. Any lineman will do. And that guy would be Tyler Smith. T. Smitty, actually. I know T. Smitty. Good guy. So yeah, I'm gonna go Tyler Smith from Tulsa. They need an offensive lineman because you got to protect Tom Brady. He's the golden boy, and also Jensen's retired. So T. Smitty is gonna go in and screw it. We're gonna put him inside. I know he's technically a tackle. Let's see how big he is. 6'5", 324. So a little small. 324 is not that small, but 6'5" is big. But we'll put him at guard. We'll fix him at guard. He'll figure it out.
Okay. For me, can you click on it for me?
Bang.
I know who I want. Yeah. Devontae Wyatt. It's crazy that he's still here. Gonna give him to the Bucks. Like somehow I feel like they always just get a super sick, like blue chip player in the first round. That's what happens here. And I think they walk away happy. Not necessarily protecting Tom Brady, not really getting him a weapon, but I'm sure he'll be happy when the defense plays well.
That's very fair. Okay, now we're gonna go with Green Bay.
Who's their head coach now?
Green Bay?
No.
Oh, it's the Jets guy.
Got you. I know you're talking about Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles. Yeah. Todd Bowles.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're gonna go Green Bay here, and I just hate everything for them. I don't like anything here. I really don't. It'd be electric if they picked up Sam Howell or Desmond Ritter. Um, okay, I've heard a lot about this Drake Jackson kid. They don't necessarily need him though.
Okay.
I'm, I'm gonna go with Drake Jackson. I've heard a lot about him. He's an edge defender from USC. I'm kind of just pulling that out of nowhere. I'm just gonna go. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go Drake Jackson.
Okay.
It's not the greatest
Um,
pick.
I'm gonna go Traylon Burks.
Traylon Burks.
Yeah.
I've never heard of him. Ooh, I have actually heard of him. Yeah, he's this fast guy, right? Yeah,
Packers going double wide receiver. Let's
that's
roll.
not bad. He's very fast. Thank you for actually reminding me about this guy because I will explain why I'm gonna go with Traylon Burks to Kansas City because they need wide receivers badly, like very
Yeah.
badly. They lost a lot. I know that they've only technically really only lost what's his name? Only Tyreek, but like Tyreek was like their wide receiver core. They also lost Pringle. So they need to replace him. And Traylon Burks against 6'2", so he's a big kid. 6'2", 225, and he ran a very fast 40. I'm kind of forgetting his 40, but I know this kid's supposedly known to be a speed demon. So yeah, I like this. I like this player a lot.
Okay.
You get into the
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sky Moore
Sky Moore.
to the Chiefs. That sounds about right.
Yep. Which I like the
Um,
double Y in Sky Moore.
yeah, cool. A little differentiation. I like it. Yeah, just Tyreek Hill placement, short, fast guy. I mean, he's not gonna be Tyreek Hill, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
It's the same. It's the same sort of player. Again, I think Sky Moore's only like 5'10". Yep, 5'10", 195. Almost kind of built, almost like Tyreek Hill, where he's a little stocky. So yeah, if Sky Moore's there, I don't have him there, but if Sky Moore's there, I like it. I don't hate it for you. Okay, so now let's go cornerback. And yeah, I'm gonna go cornerback here. I'm gonna go Andrew Booth Jr. Andrew Booth Jr. Out of Clemson. They need cornerbacks. They've kind of been they weren't that great in the cornerback department last year. They kind of got ripped apart by Jamar and T. Higgins. So yeah, go Andrew Booth here. I like the fact they have back-to-back picks. It's pretty sick by them.
Yeah.
Rich gets rich.
I'm gonna go with Boye Mafe.
Oof, you're just
Apparently,
pulling team.
apparently he was a beast at the Senior Bowl.
This guy, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like an absolute beast at the Senior Bowl. Chiefs need some D-line help. He's the boy.
Okay, with this pick, I'm going to go with the best offensive lineman in this draft that's remaining. Okay, so we're either between Kenyon Green. This team just badly needs offensive lineman. And you know what, Kenyon? Welcome to the team. Kenyon Green from the Aggies, good school, SEC. This team badly just needs to protect Joey B. And I know they're definitely going to go with lineman here. They just need anything they can do to protect him. He got beat up in the Super Bowl, and that was kind of the reason why he got taken out. So I'm going to go Kenyon Green.
Okay. I'll take corner here.
Ooh. But they have Apple.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, Andrew Booth works.
Perfect.
They signed a bunch of O-linemen. So I don't know that they'll necessarily go O-line, but we'll see. You can always use corners in today's NFL. Their corners weren't great. They were okay. They got hot, but they have Eli Apple out there. So let's put an end to that.
That's not a bad idea. Fuck that guy. Okay, let's go with Lions. They have the last pick in the draft.
I don't know what I'm doing here.
I'm trying to figure out the biggest meathead that's possible here. And I don't know much about Leo Chelian or Chenal, however you say his name. I apologize. And they're saying he wasn't too far behind Micah Parsons. All right, look at that. I'm gonna go Leo here. They need a linebacker, Wisconsin kind of guy. What's his name? Loves those kind of guys. Dan Campbell is a meathead. He's a bone of he calls himself a meathead, so it's not really offensive to him. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Leo here to end up this mock draft.
Okay. I don't hate that. I'm gonna go Tyler Smith, tackle. They got Sewell. They have that other guy. I forget who he is. They got like a decent O-line, but it's never something that you should stop improving. End of the first round, pick up a tackle, roll into round 2.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and that is our first draft. We are definitely going to be comparing our picks to the actual draft, like what happens in the actual first round. We are not doing the second round. I don't know anything. I started losing after like the 20th pick. I started losing it. So we are not doing the second round. That's going to be it for us. I really appreciate you guys listening. I really do. I think you're right. I think we like mainly for the same part, have the same kind of guys. We just have like different players in those positions. Like we both have 2 edge rushers go off the first thing. They're just flipped. Both have 2 tackles. We just have different tackles. So we have the same kind of positions, just different players. That makes sense. So, and also, always a friendly wager. So who's ever had more correct will be the winner. I have a couple picks out there that I don't like. So I think you might have got me.
We'll see, dude. You never know. Crazy stuff happens. So I don't know. I'm just excited to watch the draft. I miss football.
I miss football a lot. I miss NFL a lot. I've been like watching like those like workout videos for the Giants. And I always get a little excited. Just watching like the blue uniforms out there, just being like, oh wow, it's almost back. But all right, guys. So I really appreciate you guys listening. If you guys have listened this whole time, I really appreciate it. And yeah, let us know what you guys think. You got anything to say before we go?
Nope. See you guys.
All right, peace out.